Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Fabio, and today we're going to be animating a bouncing ball in Sketchbook Pro. So doing exercises like this, it helps show you the core principles of animation in their most basic form. And then you can take those concepts and apply it to more complex animation. Before we actually get into animating, we're gonna have to do a little bit of planning. We're gonna make something that's called a timing chart. And all this is, it's kind of a guide that helps us figure out where we draw each drawing. We plan it out before. So a bouncing ball is gonna start up here, and then it's gonna bounce to the ground, right? So let's just draw a straight line. And we're gonna mark these little markings here. What these markings represent, frames. So drawing 1, and I'll say, I think it's gonna be around 7 drawings for the ball to fall to the floor. Okay, we're just going on the way down for now. The first concept that we're going to look at is called easing. So what this means is things move at different speeds. The ball starts to fall, it's going to need to build up speed. So it's going to be slow at the beginning, it's going to speed up as it falls, and when it hits the ground, it's going to slow down again. So we have slow, fast, slow. We can show that in our timing chart. When you draw things really close together, it appears they move slower. The further apart you draw them, the faster they're going to appear to move. So in our timing chart, we have our drawing 1 here. Our second drawing, we're going to draw really close to the drawing 1. Same with our third drawing, because our ball is going to start slow. By the fourth, it's going to be speeding up. See that big space? And then as we come down to our 5th and 6th, it's going to be closer to each other. Our timing chart for the ball hitting the ground. Now we're going to draw one for the ball coming back up in the air. So now let's go from bottom to top. This is drawing 7, and I think I'm going to end on drawing 11. Now, as the ball comes up, just hit the ground. It's going to hit the ground, speed up, and slow as it comes to the top. So this time, when we draw drawing 7, we're only going to draw one drawing close together. Then it's going to speed up. So drawing 8 is going to be somewhere around the middle. Drawing 9 and drawing 10 are going to be where it slows down at the top again. Right? So a ball goes slow, fast, hits the ground, goes back up, speeds up, and slows down as it comes back to the top. Okay, so draw your timing charts now, and just remember that the closer things are together, the slower things are going to move, and the farther apart they are, the faster they're going to move. So once you have those drawn, then we can come back and start animating our bouncing ball. Actually, before we go, I made kind of a mistake. It was supposed to be 12 frames, not 11. So now the math works. Okay, so let's first of all click our onion skin so we can see what we drew previously. That's down here. And let's click our ellipse tool so we can draw perfect circles all the time. That's always nice. So let's start at frame 1 in our timing chart. Let's go add keyframe and draw our ball at the top. Okay, this is the top of our bounce. Let's go to frame 7, new keyframe, just like in our timing chart. And we're going to draw the ball on the ground. Now, back up to frame 12, and we draw the ball back to its original position. If we play through this, our ball is sort of bouncing. Okay, that's a good start. Next, let's just go right in order. So, drawing 2, add keyframe. Our ball, we said we're gonna slow it in, right? So let's draw it closer to the first one. Oops. And there we go. Frame 3. New keyframe. Again, it's a little close, not too far, just like in our timing chart. All right, now when we get to frame 4, we have that big jump, right? So we're gonna move the ball down a little bit to show that it's speeding up, okay? Frame 5, new keyframe, it's a little closer to frame 7. Frame 6, just like in our timing chart, it's also closer. So see how we're using our timing chart to tell us where we draw the ball? So now what I want you guys to do is from frame 7 to 12, follow your timing chart and fill in the rest of the drawings. Okay, so I'm going to speed it up now and we'll come back when everything's done. So I have all my drawings filled in. Let's play through this and see if we can get this ball to bounce. I'm liking that, right? It slows in, slows out. So we're looking good so far. What we have here is our timing, which is 12 frames, the length, and what we call spacing is how far each drawing is from each other, right? So our beginning drawings are close, our middle drawings are far, and we have something that looks like this. Thing is, it still doesn't really look believable as a bouncing ball. So this is where we add something called squash and stretch. That is really gonna sell this and make it look like it's an actual ball. Now the trick is you gotta know when to do it. So let's go up here. We're gonna use our transform tool for this. Okay, make sure you're selecting this one. So as the ball falls, it's going to stretch, right? Because I guess like gravity is pulling it down. So it's gonna stretch a little bit. And when it hits, that impact is gonna make it squash down. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do now. So as we come down, let's scroll through our timeline. So frame 1 to 4, let's select our transform tool. I'm gonna drag down the edges and drag in the sides. It's important you do both because you wanna keep what's called the volumes consistent. Frame 5, it's gonna stretch even more. So let's stretch it way up, squish it in. Frame 6, it's starting to unstretch, right, as it hits the floor. Frame 7, we're gonna squash this ball down. So see how we're going sides and top, just to keep those volumes consistent. So now if we play through this, it looks a lot more bouncy. The last thing we need to do is, as the ball comes up, there's also gonna be some stretch. So we're gonna stretch it here at frame 9, keep those volumes consistent, and there we go. Now if we loop this, we have a nice bouncing ball. See how much the squash and stretch really adds? And that's pretty much it, guys. So if you followed along, you should have a nice bouncing ball in front of you now. So remember, we drew our timing charts to get the timing and the spacing, and then we added our squash and stretch in the right places to give the ball some life. So a cool exercise that you can do to practice this more is you can adjust the timing, you can adjust the spacing, you can adjust the amount of squash and stretch you give the ball like different weights, make it look like a bowling ball or a basketball or a beach ball or even like a water balloon, right? All these things will have different timing charts and different amounts of squash and stretch. That's it. So really, you guys can experiment with bouncing balls, have some fun, because again, that's what this is all about. As always, if there's any questions, post them below and I'll do my best to respond to them. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.